Blue Nemesis Chevelle back at it. It's been a while because I've been super busy, but been working on the car for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 days or so. Been driving it because it hasn't been driving, it's been sitting here while I'm busy working on everything but the Chevelle. Took it for a ride the other day, or took it for a ride like 2 or 3 times this week. Been messing with the suspension. It can get sideways pretty easy, but the ride is not pleasant. So I need a pleasant ride so I can take the family around, like to cruise in, and basically just I want a smooth ride. Not perfect because it's a badass fucking 1200 horsepower car, but a good ride. So I took it out. I had the if I mat down the paddle, got the boost on, it fucking wants to turn this big car sideways ASAP, which is all awesome and everything, but without a good suspension, like hitting bumps, still had to modify the exhaust in the back some more because it felt like it was bottoming out. It was like a part touching the frame on dips or bumps or anything like that. Then next you know, the stock coil springs and the shocks are just not doing it. They got new shocks and coils in the back, which I think they're lowering springs in the back, but they're not that much lower, but it just doesn't ride the way I want it to ride. And the front ride's pretty terrible too. The front needs the new complete suspension, but I'm not gonna do coilovers. I'm just gonna go air ride complete because I don't want to have adjustable coilovers. Would be good for sure in the back and in the front because I can adjust them. I can adjust the coilovers, but I'm not gonna do the stock suspension with the coil springs because the adjustability with the ride. I want to be able to adjust it from firm to soft to hard, whatever I need, in high or low, whatever. So the air ride, hands down, looks badass, and the functionality of it is way better when I can adjust the actual ride height to meet the terrain I'm riding on and the firmness or the softness of the rear. So it just makes more sense for me. To make this heavy car ride like a Cadillac or something, you're gonna need probably some air ride because I think most Cadillacs and like the Escalade, it comes with like air ride in the back. So if Cadillac's doing it, then that might be the best. So the air ride project is coming up next month. I should have some time. Right now what we're doing is I done cut this all up and tore it open, but what we're working on right now is 2 problems. One problem, I found out I have some exhaust leaks coming from the manifolds. I took a hose and the leak is actually coming from inside here where the primaries come to the collector. So, and I took this and welded it all up because I couldn't get this V-band sealed properly. So I said, fuck it, welded it all together. And then here, I can always just unbolt my turbo and pull this whole turbo manifold out. Same thing with that side. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of cutting my weld or doing anything else or ordering new headers, mainly the reason I want to order new headers is because for these headers, I had to cut the flanges off and put D flanges on here to match these aluminum racing heads that I have because I couldn't find headers that I could order that would come with it, or I had to pay the local guy like $4 grand to make me a custom set of headers. $4 grand, or buy some cheap eBay headers, cut and mod them. Obviously, I freaking cut it and modded and welded up my own headers versus $4 grand. That's a no-brainer. So now that I found out that it's leaking in here, my solution for this one is going to be cut a window in here, like in here, notch it out, cut me a window, because it'll be easier to just re-weld this on the surface right here, cover everything around it, and you re-weld this area, then to take this all apart and cut it and have to pull the headers and do all, nope. Cut a window, get down in there, re-tack it, weld it up and make sure it's 100% sealed. Same procedure on this side. While I got this all pulled back and open, we're gonna go over here to our evac system, which is our problem number 2. I got a catch can, but the catch can is just going to open atmosphere, which is really the bare minimum, I would say. So when the boost pressure build up, what I was noticing is you'll get a little bit of smoke. Not like hairy smoke or blue smoke or black. It looks like just steam or something. It's a really, really light smoke. It'll come out of here sometimes, or it'll come out of that little one right there. If you mat down on it, get the boost pulling up 6-7 pounds, come off the throttle, hit it a couple more times, you will see excuse me, you will see that a little smoke will come out. It's because there's no vacuum and it's all boost. So versus a naturally aspirated engine, you would have the PCV valve, which that's not a PCV valve, that's just a 90, which would suck all the, or vent for the crankcase back to your carburetor or back to your intake and rerun that through to burn out any excess fuel or whatever oil mixture in it, and it burning through your exhaust. But it would keep it from just venting out to the open atmosphere. And on top of that, it constantly relieves that pressure that's coming inside your crankcase. It's building up. So boosted applications, you don't have that luxury, because if you leave that excuse me, that PCV valve in, what will happen is it'll just close up until it breaks once the boost comes in, because it's a one-way valve itself. Or it'll essentially be non-functional, because at idle, at low idle, you might have a little bit of vacuum. My boost is coming in pretty. If I turn the car off and pop the hat off, you can hear the whistle of the boost coming in. So, but you still get an idle. I can still get like 12 inches, maybe like 15 inches max of vacuum at an idle. I fixed that leak and that leak. One of them is way smaller than the other one, but you can hear it in both of them. So we're gonna cut this open, make a window, fix this and fix that. What we're gonna do is, for our evac problem, we have this kit that we ordered. Super simple. Take this bad boy. It says in the kit to put it next to the collector. On my application, since this is a boosted, I can pretty much put it anywhere inside this little area, or underneath the car somewhere in the exhaust. I got cutouts, so it had to be right before the cutout, so it's always working. But for ease of installation, and for me, I'm gonna still put it by the collector. I was gonna put it by this 90, but just for location purposes, right up in there on both sides, I have enough space to put the valve, check valve, and run the vacuum line, make a U-turn, run it right there. Same thing on that side. Or I might run it to the catch can with a Y, but this is a whole lot easier just to run it to the valve. So what we're gonna do is, this is the piece right here. You know, you got your exhaust gases and flow is going this way, leaving on mine, because they're pointed towards the front. It's going this way. With this being at a 45-degree angle or so, opposite direction, it's going to have a scavenging effect. When it's leaving, it's going to pull and create a vacuum on this, because all that flow is going this way, strong, and this is a 45, so there's no way it's going to actually turn this 45 and then push. It's just going to pull air and create a vacuum. Some guys take it, or some kits come with a slit about right here, which I might add a slit. How much it helps, but it could add a slit here, and we'll put it in and we'll install it just about like this. And then you have a check valve, one-way check valve. This is it put together. Then you would have this installed similar to this, except for you would put, you know, X amount is gonna be inside of here like that. So you're not flush mounted like this. You're actually sticking it in about 1.5 inches, inch and some change like this, into the center. Try to get it towards the center where the most of the flow is going to be. You don't want it off to the edge, like right just inside. you want to try to get it to closer to the center where all of these are coming together, and you got that air funnel flow that's coming all straight out. Excuse me. So then you would have this mounted somewhere like this. On this end, you would have a hose that you would just connect, and then you got these you would just install. They're just baffled. Pop this out, install it. It sure is ugly, but install it, and it's a super cheap, reliable system. Now, some badass race cars, high-end race cars, they'll run a mechanical on a pulley. I just hate pulleys. I don't like them. Don't like pulleys. I don't like none of this stuff. I like it clear up here. But they will run. I looked at those systems too. You have your own reservoir. Excuse me, not reservoir. You have your own catch can that'll come with it, and it'll be a pulley mounted with a wheel, and it'll have it's a vacuum pretty much with an in port and an out port. And then you just tap it. You can tap it anywhere, here or there, into the valve covers, AN fittings, the whole nine. Plumb it all together, and it's freaking venting that crankcase like crazy. There's fucking no pressure whatsoever on the bottom side of that engine. That's awesome. Completely 100% necessary, yes, in fucking certain circumstances, yes, but in this application or most applications, not necessary. This simple, cheap $20, $30, $40, $50, $60 fix will do the same job. And you can pull, this car only pulls like 12 inches of vacuum. 12 inches of vacuum with boost at idle is the max I can get. I can get up to like 15. I can't get it past 15 with the cam that I have and the actual turbo setup. You can't get, I can't get, excuse me, I can't get past 15 inches of vacuum. Now maybe I'm doing something wrong, but that's just me. I can't get it past 15. When you pop the hat off and have it running, you can see the air, the turbo spool pretty good, even with the not going through the cutouts. If I leave it going through the complete exhaust system, the Walker quiet flows, it still has pressure coming in. So that being said, if I can get just a vacuum, and the thing about it is with this being boosted, and as the airflow, exhaust gases increase in pressure coming out, you're going to increase your vacuum to a constant. You know, well, it's going to be a constant flow, or a strong constant flow as that increases. So we'll be, let's just say if we get a constant 5, a constant 2, a constant 3, whatever that constant may be, but a constant vacuum on the crankcase is going to be positive. It'll relieve all the pressure that, excuse me, that's building up, and not have it to force its way out. Basically what it's doing right now, my system is forcing its way out because there's no vacuum on it. So we're going to eliminate that. I'm going to go through the steps real quick of how we're going to install this. It's a pretty simple thing. All right, the way I'm going to do it, I don't know how these guys do it. I'm going to take it, line it up where I want it, take a marker, go around this piece so I know the exact angle and everything I want. I mark it, drill me a hole, get that hole to match my marker, whatever that marker shape is going to be. Slide my piece right in there nice and snug and cozy, and go ahead and weld it all the way around. No leaks. No leaks. Weld it all the way around. Boom. Put it all back together. After I do my little repair here, I need to cut this little window. I'll do the repair. Rewrap all this stuff. Put some extra brand new exhaust wrapped on it. That's it. Plumb it all together and run this beast. Blue Nemesis Chevelle. I'll be back.